How we could be living on Mars much sooner than you think. Hello and welcome to World of Innovation. I'm your host, and today we're talking about an exciting topic, the possibility of humans living on Mars. It's hard to believe, but it's been nearly 60 years since the first humans set foot on the moon. Since then, we've made incredible strides in the field of space exploration. We've sent probes to every planet in our solar system, established a permanent presence on the International Space Station, and even landed rovers on the surface of Mars. The Mars rover Curiosity, for example, has been exploring the planet's surface since 2012, sending back invaluable data and samples that have helped us better understand the planet's geology and climate. But as exciting as these achievements are, they're just the beginning. In recent years, there's been a renewed push to send humans to Mars and establish a permanent settlement on the Red Planet. Private companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin have made significant progress in developing the technology and infrastructure necessary for a human mission to Mars, and NASA has outlined its own plans for sending astronauts to the planet in the coming decades. So, what would it take to establish a human settlement on Mars? Well, first and foremost, we would need to figure out how to sustain life on the planet. Mars is a harsh and unforgiving place, with freezing temperatures that can dip as low as -225 degrees Fahrenheit, -153 degrees Celsius, a thin atmosphere that provides little protection from solar radiation, and a lack of water and other resources. To survive on Mars, we would need to bring all the necessary supplies with us, including food, water, and oxygen. We would also need to establish a way to produce these essentials ourselves, using resources available on the planet. This could involve growing crops in greenhouses using artificial lighting and hydroponic systems, extracting water from the soil using specialized equipment, and generating oxygen through processes like electrolysis, which involves splitting water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen using electricity. In addition to figuring out how to sustain life on Mars, we would also need to consider the psychological and social challenges of living in an isolated, confined environment. It's one thing to go on a short space mission, but quite another to live on Mars for an extended period of time. Studies have shown that long-term space missions can have negative impacts on mental health, including increased stress and anxiety, sleep disturbances, and even changes in brain structure. To ensure the mental well-being of our settlers, we would need to provide them with the necessary support and resources to cope with the isolation and stress of living on another planet. This could include things like regular communication with loved ones back on Earth, opportunities for physical exercise and recreation, and access to mental health professionals. One of the most exciting aspects of the push to send humans to Mars is that it's happening much sooner than many people realize. Private companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin have made significant progress in developing the technology and infrastructure necessary for a human mission to Mars, and they have ambitious plans to send humans to the planet within the next decade. SpaceX, for example, has been working on its Starship spacecraft, which it plans to use for a variety of missions, including sending humans to Mars. The company has already conducted successful test flights of prototypes of the spacecraft and is working towards the goal of sending humans to Mars as early as 2024. NASA also has its own plans for sending humans to Mars in the coming decades. The space agency is currently working on the Space Launch System, SLS, rocket and the Orion spacecraft, which it plans to use for a manned mission to Mars in the 2030s. NASA is also working on developing the necessary technologies and infrastructure for a sustainable human presence on Mars, including the ability to produce oxygen, water, and food on the planet. So while it may still seem like a distant dream to some, the reality is that humans could be living on Mars much sooner than we think. With the rapid progress being made in space travel and technology, it's an exciting time to be alive and witness the incredible advancements happening in the world around us. But despite these challenges, the rewards of establishing a human settlement on Mars are immeasurable. Not only would it be a huge technological and scientific achievement, but it would also open up new possibilities for human expansion and development. Imagine the advances we could make in fields like medicine, energy, and agriculture by studying and experimenting on a new planet. We could also use Mars as a stepping stone for further exploration of the solar system and beyond. And who knows what other discoveries and possibilities await us on Mars. The Red Planet has long been shrouded in mystery, and the more we learn about it, the more we realize just how much we have yet to discover. Past missions have already found evidence of water on Mars, and there are hints that the planet may have once had a more Earth-like climate. Some scientists even believe that there may be microbial life on Mars, either in the past,